Welcome to the Juggling Mind and Money podcast with Steve Rowe and Jessica Schlupp-Taylor. Steve Rowe is the founder of Lucent Financial Planning and an award-winning independent financial planner. He helps you to use your money and have a great life. Jess Schlupp-Taylor is a psychologist supporting people through change, challenges, and forks in the road of life. Together, they will help unblock the sludge in your mind, stopping you from achieving financial and psychological happiness.
Hello and welcome to Juggling Mind and Money, the podcast where we try to help people build a great life with money that supports it and a mind that doesn't sabotage it halfway through the month. I'm Steve, founder of Lucent Financial Planning, and today I'm flying solo, but I've brought in someone who absolutely lives at the intersection of behaviour, emotions and money. This is episode 41 and I'm joined by Sonya Lutter from Texas Tech, a researcher and money psychologist who spent years studying what really happens inside relationships and households when money turns up and turns up the temperature. Sonya, welcome and thank you for coming on. How did I pronounce your name? Was it excellent?
Yeah, I'm trying out a new name, so I appreciate you going for it. We'll see how people feel about it.
How did they used to pronounce it?
Sonya.
Yeah.
Sonya is way fancier, so everyone get on board. It is now Sonya Lutter.
So obviously we're a UK-based show, and here is a soap opera called EastEnders, where you pronounce it Sonya! Sonya!
Okay, I'll try that out as the next version. I'm not quite there yet.
So Sonya, we met 3 years ago nearly.
Is that all? I feel like
yeah.
I've known you my whole life.
Do you?
Yeah.
The sincerity you've said that is is quite
questionable.
It's quite astounding. But you've just been saying off air how I did change your life this time last year, haven't you?
Indeed you did. And so profound that I am enjoying the moment right now with my hot tea and milk. Who would have ever known you could combine the two?
Hot tea and milk. Now, that's just known as tea here, but you are endearing yourself to the UK listener.
First of all, I'm drinking tea, which is very bizarre.
Yeah, because it would be cold tea there, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Yeah.
Perhaps with sugar. Not for me.
No, I don't have sugar. Got to kick that. It's bad for your health.
Yeah.
So, Sonya, what we're going to do today is we're going to have a lovely chat. And I know you do tend to take the mickey out of me, so I'm going to encourage that. You should carry on. But what I would like to know, for listeners who may not know your work, how did you end up specialising in money psychology?
As with most people, totally by accident. So way back when, I thought I was going to be a speech pathologist. I had met a girl at a summer camp. I was a counselor, and she was deaf. And I was so fascinated by how happy she was and the communication that she was able to have or not have. So I thought I was going to be a teacher for deaf children.
Okay.
So I went to college. Did you not know this?
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Well, it was
interesting.
very short-lived because I went to college and I took the intro to speech pathology course. And turns out it's all about science.
Oh, God.
I know.
You don't want that.
So
You
I
aren't
had to
fat.
opt out of that pretty quickly.
Do you want to say you went for a pseudo-science like psychology? That's controversial.
It's actually a harder science, in my opinion, because people are tricky little creatures and they're hard to predict. So I did find my way. Actually, I didn't find my way into psychology then. And then I went into financial planning directly from speech pathology because I realized I could remember numbers pretty well. And so that felt more my speed. And then I was getting ready to graduate and realized I didn't know what I was going to do with people. Like, what if a couple started arguing in front of me or crying in front of me? And I'm a big fan of the paper bulletin boards. Do you call them that? Advertisements.
Okay, yeah.
And there was a sign for marriage and family therapy. And I thought, why don't I give that a try? And so,
Really? And you took the bit
so
of
that's how it
paper and
happened.
no way. And then that you were stuck on it, not stuck, um, super excited by it
I was.
and never looked back.
No,
Very much like your encounter with property.
I know, right? I just had to have my eyes open. And then I'm like, this is it. It's been here the whole time.
You are good like that, aren't you? You do make a choice and stick with it.
That's
Sonia, I'm
it.
proud of you.
Thank you.
Um, so do you think like the financial world underestimates the psychology of money still? Because it's getting more popular, isn't it?
It is more popular, but I definitely think we're still underestimating it because we put all this effort into the college education. So even still today, like if you look at the curriculum to become a financial planner, it's heavy on investments, heavy on tax, and then whatever else you add on to that. So retirement, estate, etc.
Yeah.
And usually, at least here in the US, they're required to teach psychology of financial planning. But it is one course or sometimes integrated within another course. And every single time, because that's the course I teach, the students
Yeah.
say, why didn't we have that sooner? Or why aren't there more of these classes? And so I think as a profession, we are still underestimating how much needs to be taught, but yet, at least up and coming financial planners, and I think existing financial planners, you tell me, they understand the value in it, but I don't know that they know how to solve that problem.
It's an incredibly hard problem, I think, because like you said earlier, um, when I was saying it was a pseudoscience, there's lots of answers, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can do the same thing for two different people and get completely opposite ends of the
Yeah.
spectrum in responses.
And the reason why that is, Steve, is because you were one of my students. You should know the answer to this. It's because we lack a framework. Like this is my big thing is we've been approaching this area of psychology of financial planning just haphazardly. Like you say, oh, this works, so let me apply that to all people. Or this works with this type of person and this works with this type of person. But you're just pulling stuff out of the thin air and you don't know what works or what doesn't. So I want to hear you talk about the class that you took with me. But it was on systemic financial planning. And the
Well, I was going
idea
to
behind,
introduce that actually, because I do remember, which is what
okay,
you're
good.
intimating I don't, isn't it?
Yeah, well, let's see how much you remember. But the point of it was to tie in the basics of marriage and family therapy with financial planning. So, family systems theory. And if we approach things from a broad umbrella perspective, we can start narrowing it in from there once we understand how the systems are interacting with one another. So, what did you take away from the course, Steve? And what do you still apply today? This is actually a podcast episode about you.
This is like being grilled.
It's like an oral test.
This is very much like the course itself. Well, let me just explain what this is. So, the Institute for Systemic Financial Professionals, which you established, and we were the first graduates, weren't we?
Yeah.
Weren't we, Sonia?
Amazing, right? The
Yeah.
inaugural cohort.
And for those of you watching on YouTube or anything where you can see the video, we will show a picture of the jumpers, sweaters that Sonia awarded us. I was actually
No, that's
wearing
what it
that
was
last
called.
night, you know.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mail you more, but it takes
I took
5 months to
4
get
months or
anything over.
something. Yeah. But I was actually wearing that sweater last night.
Lovely.
Yeah. For paddle. Have you heard of paddle?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Paddle's like some sort of tennis craze that's going on. But when we're having a paddle tournament at work and we was practicing last night,
Is it like pickleball?
Kind of, but it's more like in a squash court sort of thing, but with real tennis balls. Yeah. Everyone's obsessed about it anyway. Anyway, yes, the Institute for Systemic Financial Professionals. um, right, is about recognizing the process of why or the why behind behavior.
You're reading it, so
I know,
I'm
because I got it off
questioning
your
how much you
website,
remember.
didn't I, Sonia? Because I thought I thought I'd better do research, even though I've done it. So that was a fantastic course, actually, and I do use it. I've been going through it. I know you don't believe me on this because you're like this, some kind of a teacher that doesn't believe the students.
That's not true.
But I do think about it a lot, and I notice it in people more now. And I think that's my
Mhm.
whole since we met, probably a year or two before, I was starting thinking something's going on here because I'm intuitive like that, right? Right, I'm doing the good maths and all this stuff and showing them some figures, but people aren't getting it. What's happening? But you did certainly open my eyes on that. So, how have you found that your research? How has it been met by the profession in general?
Really well, I would say. I think it depends on the audience, of course. There are some people who say, well, I don't have time for that. I put that in quotes if you're not watching on YouTube, because they think this is, if I ask somebody about their family history or who else is important to them beyond the obvious, that's going to take up more of the, let's say I have 1 hour with this person per year, and I
Yeah,
don't have time to drift off into these other topics. And, I get it. It's a valid concern. If that's the model that you're working with, you need to sell something. You've got 60 minutes to do it, and then you need to move on. This probably isn't for you. But I would say for the bulk of people who have a relationship with their clients and who want to grow financial wellness, so helping the client feel good about their situation and feeling good yourself about what you're doing and liking coming to work, then this absolutely has been well received. And even just hearing you talk about the course ever so briefly, the thing that comes to mind that was particularly prevalent with your cohort is, what about that client who says they're going to do something and then they don't do it? Like, there are very strategic ways where you can assess a person's readiness for change and tailor the communication to where that person is in that moment. Or their spouse just died and they're coming to you for advice on what to do next. Like, you have to be ready to listen to where that client is and not just give all of the information that you have to them, because only when a person is in the action phase of change are they going to even care about that education. And that's kind of our go-to strategy, because that's what we know. Like, I have all of these great strategies for you. Here, go do them.
yeah.
And most of the time, people aren't ready for that.
So to the person who says we haven't got time to do that in the hour we have, I'd say you haven't got time not to do it because this stuff's blocking everything you're telling them.
Absolutely.
That's like the cotton wool in their ears. You
Yeah.
need to unplug their ears.
Yes.
Um, so I was very proud of my team on the course you did for
Me
us.
too. They did
They were
awesome.
good, I thought. Yeah, I really like. It was really good to hear their insights into stuff that because
And it was a fun cohort too, because you had some really new advisors, and then
yeah,
a couple of you had been doing it for quite some time.
just the range between frustrated and new and optimistic.
Yeah, but it was perfect.
So, Sonia, right? A lot
Yeah.
of your work has been based on money between couples, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Um, Explain to us all, because we've all had rows, haven't we? Some
Yeah.
people have rows about money, whether to spend it. Some people have rows about when you move home, whether to get a new one before you move.
Details.
um, things like things like that. Um, explain explain to us about the research you've done into this and how it affects relationships, both with
Mhm.
money and with one another.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty broad question, so we could just spend the next hour talking about whatever I want to talk about.
That's what we're going to do.
So, okay, some of my favorite things. The amount that a couple argues about money early in their relationship is more predictive of relationship satisfaction and divorce down the road than how much they argue down the road or whether that amount had increased over time. Is
No
that
way.
not wild?
That is, that is crazy.
It's so crazy. And it's even crazier because how many couples are going to a financial professional or a marriage and family therapist early in their relationship?
I don't
Not
know.
a lot, some,
Yeah.
but that's the moment to make the difference. And I think this is a huge reflection of getting on the same page with your financial values because it's not really something that comes up when you're dating someone. Like, how do you
Yeah.
feel about debt? Or how,
Would
what
you
does
describe it
retirement
as
look
a
like to you?
burden? Um,
Yes.
so is that
Uh,
fourth date territory?
what?
Is those sort of conversations fourth date?
Uh, maybe I
Mm.
would say first date. You know my husband. I asked him about his student loan debt the first date, and I still married him.
Your husband's the most manliest man I've ever met. He's a cowboy vet,
He is
everybody.
a cowboy.
Brilliant.
Yes.
And he's got a big buckle. I checked it out.
Many big buckles.
Mm,
Mm,
it
yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
Um,
So the point of my story is back to being on topic that we need to have these conversations, but it's a bizarre thing to talk about early in the relationship. So having financial professionals who can facilitate those conversations. I would love to see premarital financial counseling offered. Wouldn't that be a
premarital.
yeah,
Mm.
premarital? I think that would be huge. Like as people are planning for their wedding, like let's get them in. Let's start them off on the right track. Let's look at our credit reports. Let's see what debt you have. Let's see what your goals are and get on the same page early on. That would be amazing.
That might be a
Okay.
good additional service.
I know, right? And then they could be your lifelong clients.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, really.
So in your earlier statistic, so people put off these conversations and then they just fester over time, do they? And then that's eventually what leads to the bad stuff, the breakups.
Um, well, I'm a researcher, so I can't let that go on record as exactly like that because there's a lot of intervening variables. But we do know that it's highly correlated. So did X lead to Y? I don't know. But there's definitely a relationship there that's
Well, I'm not a researcher, so it sounds absolutely causal to me.
for sure. Let's just go with it.
So why would between couples then? Because I mean, we've all had them, haven't we? These rows, arguments. Why do these sort of conversations about money escalate so quickly? What that causes this
Yeah, it
deep
goes back to
shift
the
in
values,
behaviour?
in my opinion, that money more than other things reflects what we care about more deeply than anything else. So if you think about the other things that you have to navigate as a new couple, we're talking about what do we want to watch on TV?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of a preference. It's not really who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Or how do you squeeze the toothpaste?
From the bottom.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
You'll see lots of tubes of toothpaste around my house because nobody can agree. So it's just easier. Everybody gets their own. And but that's a preference, right?
Yeah.
It's not who I am at the core. What I eat,
Well, that can be for you.
yeah, it could be, but largely it's preference.
Yeah.
Whereas money, this really not only illustrates who I am inside, but it's also very external. How I spend my money is how people view me and how I'm perceived. And so it really is a reflection of me at the core. And if we're not aligned on that, it just compounds everything else that's wrong or that's right. I mean, let's flip it around to the positive framing, right? Like, if we can get on the same page early on, it is a protective feature. And I have to tell you about this other research. It's not my research, but this is so fascinating too. So, this was Scott Rick. You need to get him on the podcast. And he talked about, he had this study for a long time. There was a known correlation, not causation, between the number of joint accounts a couple has, and their relationship satisfaction. Okay, so we knew that they were related, but we didn't know, were couples happier because they had joint accounts, or was I happy, therefore we got the joint accounts?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just talking like spending accounts. So
Okay.
Scott did this research where he had couples divided into 3 groups. These were couples who were getting ready to get married. So they were young. And he put a third of them, he told a third of the group, I want you to put all of your money together into the same bank account. And then he told a third of the group, I want you to keep all of your money separate. And then a third of the group, they just watched. They didn't tell them anything. They could do whatever they want. The chart that shows these results, you can see how excited I'm getting. This is more causal. They followed them for 2 years. And after the end of those 2 years, the couples who were told to keep their money in joint accounts had higher relationship satisfaction than even when they began their marriage. The other
No.
2 groups declined in relationship satisfaction, which is not unusual, right? A couple gets married, it's kind of exciting. 2 years later, you're like, "Eh,
Yeah. You're looking around.
yeah, hopefully not, but whatever, do your thing." So 2 years later, there was a very clear relationship between joint accounts leading to higher relationship satisfaction.
I
That's
thought it'd be
wild.
the other way around because you saw what they were spending potentially.
Uh, maybe.
That was my instant thought.
No, I think
Mm.
it's this way because they had to have the conversation.
Yeah.
There's only so much money in the bank account, so we're gonna have to have these conversations early on.
So it seems to me the answer, as normal, is talking it out.
Yeah. Who would have ever thought?
It's funny. Things often boil down to the same thing, don't they? Like,
They do.
if
Which
we
is why
tell each
psychology
other,
of financial planning is so much more important, right? Like, we have to be able to facilitate these conversations.
oh, well, you see it all the time when you're doing financial planning with people. You see, you see the sideways looks. I'll do one now. The tuts, the despair, the gasps of, oh, well, of course you would do that, wouldn't you?
Mhm. Yeah,
Conversations like that. And like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong, sometimes it's fun being in the middle of that. But
No,
also,
it's not.
no, it's not. It's very awkward. But also, trying to resolve it.
Yeah.
So now, imagine you've got a couple that been together, because typically people come to us in their 50s, say. So they've been together 25 years. They've got the silver wedding anniversary coming up. and these things have never been resolved, and it's teetering on the edge. And there's big decisions coming up like retirement and gifts to kids and all that stuff. Is it too late, Sonia?
Yeah. Just call
It is too
quits
late.
right there.
Mm.
Yeah, just go ahead and close out the meeting and move on. The thing that I really love with those types of couples is that's a very real situation. And there is still the opportunity to reconnect or maybe just connect on the financial side of things. And I like using what I call the values bullseye. You've seen this too, as you might recall.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for both people to independently list out their values. Sometimes they know, sometimes they don't. So you might have to help facilitate. There's lots of different ways of doing it with a paper values assessment, or there's values cards that it's more of a game. So you get to their top 3 or 5 things that they value. Usually family is pretty high up there for people. Usually health is up there for a lot of people. But it doesn't matter what it is. So each person has their set of values. And then you, as the psychologically oriented, let's say wellness oriented financial professional, you have to be a bit creative and figure out how these 6 to 10 values are connected to one another. Probably they have some that are the same. And then you take the thing that is most central to both people. Hopefully it's something that's relatively the same. And you literally write it on the center of a bullseye. So you draw out your
Yeah.
bullseye and you name it as, okay, as we're thinking through everything that comes next, let's not forget about what's in the center for both of you, which again, there's a high likelihood it's going to be family or relationships or something like that. And then you keep going out on the circles. And if you can't come to any sort of collaboration on the same value, it's okay. Have multiple rings, but probably there's going to be some similarities. And then as you're talking through their financial goals, I literally write it out on a sticky note and I put it on the bullseye of, okay, you say you want to retire at age 65. Okay,
Yeah.
how does that align with these values that you've told me are most central to who you are? We put it down. Maybe they've been having conflict over vacations. So let's write down what kind of vacation it is that they want. Sorry, you don't call it vacation. Your holiday,
Holiday.
whatever holiday you want
We
to
know what
take.
it is. Vacay.
Yeah, that's more the modern way, right?
Yeah. Well,
Where they want to
that's
go on
right, Sonia.
vacay. Yeah, get on board, Sonia. And then it introduces the opportunity for the conversation. So sometimes the goals do not fit on the values bullseye, and that's okay. But it enables the conversation of, let's just put this to the side for a moment. We can still see it. But what if instead we focus on these things that we jointly agree are most important to who you are? And it provides the opportunity that normal couples don't have outside of a facilitated conversation of where are we the same? And probably they're more similar than what immediately comes to mind for them. And where are we different, but how can we still keep sight of these things?
And that helps push them through to get agreement.
It
Or not
does.
necessarily agreement, but understanding.
Collaboration. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm going to try and dig that out and put it on the video. That's what I was noting down.
Nice.
Be good. Okay, so also I find with couples, one might earn a lot more money
Yeah.
than the other. And there's a lot of the saying, well, it's my money, can come up a lot. And it's like the other partner kind of lives off the scraps. And that tends to create a lot of resentment. I mean, I don't like it. I find that uncomfortable just hearing that, really. Are there any how could we go about adjusting perhaps those viewpoints?
I'm glad you brought this up, mostly because I want to talk about something else.
As we can quickly divert to something else.
No, it is a great question, but it's even more amplified when women make more than men. So if a wife out earns a husband, the likelihood of divorce is through the roof. That's very
Is it?
statistical. Yep,
Is that men's ego issues?
I think so. And this is modern day. I'm not talking about like the
Mm,
1950s. This is current behavior when women make more than her husband, money arguments increase. So I totally hear what you're saying, but it's worse if it's the woman who makes more. But certainly an issue still if there's a disparity.
disparity
Yes.
or discrepancy.
Thanks for helping me out with incomes between the partners. And it goes back to the research. If we have the joint accounts, it helps, first of all, make sure that we're on the same page with whatever goals it is that we're working towards. But I think it helps squash some of this idea of his money versus her money. But
Yeah.
probably if a couple is having this level of argument about the the income and whose it is, would you say that they're also having other issues?
Oh, and that's just like a proxy for
I think
ano
so.
another argument.
Yeah.
Do you think people say their meaning in so many other ways, don't they?
Which makes this not a soft science, but actually a very difficult science.
Really hard. Well, it's like poetry, isn't it? No one understands that. There's so there's so many meanings, um,
Yeah.
that you can assign to it, um,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
reasons that might come about. Sonia, I wanna talk about now a feeling I inspire in most people, anxiety. Financial anxiety. Um, so many people have this. I think it's gotta be in the top 3 worries, isn't it, of
Yeah.
everybody about money. Um, have you done any research into when this starts in life or any anything we can do to help ease it, apart from talk it out with each other?
We can't just talk about it. I'm just joking. I don't know if I have done something with when it starts. If you're thinking of something, let me know.
I was just thinking how early it starts.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember as a kid growing up, you hear money conversations between your parents, don't you?
Oh, yes.
I've had a conversation today with, a new client, and these issues were raised.
Mhm.
Got quite tearful about how a parent talked about money and how there was never enough and always trying to get some and always needing more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that
so
is 100% the case where our socialization around money is very predictive of later financial beliefs and behaviors. So, this isn't my research, but it's good research that talks about when parents are very argumentative, the child grows up with worse financial behaviors, argumentative about money.
about money in
But
particular, yeah.
yeah, but if a child receives an allowance as a child, there's no correlation, very little correlation with their financial behaviors as an adult. So again, it goes back to how did I feel during that moment of my parents arguing about money? And and that follows you over time. It's not
Yeah.
getting money that follows me over time. It's how I felt during that moment. So absolutely spot on with that idea of how those early moments can lead to the later financial anxiety. The part where I wanted to go with it, even though I didn't know how to answer that part, was the what do we do about it besides for talking about it? And there are some things that we can do about our financial anxiety as adults. And the first thing is identifying it. And I know that sounds silly or that I'm trying to get a cop out here, but
But
it
putting a
is so,
label on things helps.
yes, label it.
Yeah.
I I'm generally not a fan of labeling like you're money avoidant or
Well, you can
whatever.
become that person then, can't you?
No, I'm saying name the feeling,
No, that's what
name
labeling
the
does.
thing. Yes, label that because then we can start doing something about it. And I am really guilty about this. How are you doing? Fine. Like, that's always my response rate. Fine or good. I don't think about how I'm actually feeling. It's just the polite thing to do and to say. But when we can start recognizing, well, what does it mean if I am stressed? And what's the repercussions of this? So you've heard me talk about this way too many times, but other people haven't. So let me start at the beginning.
Go for it.
When a person is stressed, it's literally the fight or flight response mechanism. So I feel a threat and my body immediately goes into action. I don't even think about it. I don't know that it's happening, but I sense a threat. Exactly, just like that. And so I'm either going to run away or I'm going to freeze, or I'm going to fight. And what that looks like in modern day is the blood is going back to the heart to prepare for this physical reaction. And again, it does it so quickly that we're not even thinking about this happening. So when the blood is going back to the heart to prepare either to fight or run away, our hands get cold and our feet get cold. You have the same, are you getting cold feet, right? Do you
Yeah, yeah.
say that?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
we do,
that
yeah.
it's that physiological response that's going on. And it is so easy to recognize once you have become aware of it. So, like right now, my hands really are cold.
You got your little thermometer thing there.
No, because I'm moving, Steve. Thanks for
Oh,
stressing me out about the move. Like, I have nothing.
you're not moving. You're being
I am moving.
deboned. There's
So
that difference.
everything's packed away. I have no thermometer, but normally I
Well,
have
I've
a
got tons
thermometer.
of them here.
I know.
You know, your little hand things.
Yeah, I know. Oh, wait, you know what? I forgot to clean out underneath my desk. Look at this. I have
Hey,
one.
there you go.
So it's a way to, it's like a mood ring back in the day. So I'll go ahead and hold my finger here because it's
Right.
broken. It
I know.
doesn't change.
That
But you
means you're
can see
cold.
over on the side, if you're watching on the video, where it will change colors, just like the old time mood rings or mood necklaces, where it's going from stressed to relaxed. Blue is the best. You want to change it
Blue.
to a nice,
I've never had blue any time I've ever done that.
I know. This makes sense for you.
Yeah, cold.
I know. Try it at
Cold
home.
person.
You need to try it when you're at home and
You know,
nice and
I'm gonna
relaxed.
fish them out of my because I know where they are. Because 'cause I've got about 30 of them.
I know I sent you a bunch.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You do
fish
need to
them out
fish
and
them
get
out
some.
because here's why it matters. And this is why, if we can name the feeling, we can know to do something with it. When I am in a physiologically heightened state of stress, so again, this isn't me saying I'm stressed or not stressed. This is what my body is actually doing. So if my hands are cold, there's also less blood in my brain because it's also going back to the heart to prepare. Why are you laughing at me? This is good stuff. You, your brain immediately goes into self protection mode. And so it's making decisions based off of habit and emotion, very myopic focused. The brain wants you to get out of this situation as quickly as possible. So you're going to say whatever you can say or do whatever you can do to get out of that state of discomfort. And it's obvious, right? Like in client behavior, especially, we can see it way better in other people than ourselves. if they are in a stressed state of mind, they'll be like, yeah, that sounds fine. Or I don't care. Or yeah, let's just go ahead and do that now.
Or
And
fine.
it's fine. And then either they will actually do that thing and they're going to be unhappy because that wasn't a true reflection of what they wanted. Or they're going to say, yeah, that's fine, and never actually follow through on it because they were just trying to get out of the situation that they were in. And so if we can, in retail therapy, is that what you call it?
Oh, when you go shopping to feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
it's a
eat ice
similar
cream.
concept, right? Like I'm feeling down, stressed, trying to escape the moment that I'm in. So let me go do this other thing to relieve that. And if we can just take a moment before we make big decisions just to feel our hands. So yes, there are the cards, but you can also feel the difference of a cold hand versus a warm hand.
You can when you
You
shake that
can.
hand. Mm.
Yeah. And just recognizing, okay, am I psychologically in a good place to be making long term decisions? If your hands are cold, you're making short term decisions. You can tell yourself whatever you want, but the reality is you are not functioning at your highest capacity when your
No.
hands are cold.
Is that a real thing? So if
It's
they're
a real
cold, you're not
thing.
just nervous, you're gonna make short-term decisions.
More likely to.
But yeah,
Yeah.
tell you what, Sonia.
You don't even have to talk to anybody. All you have to do is
Mm.
feel your hands. That's it.
If your other hand's cold, it's hard, isn't it? To tell the difference.
I promise you, they're not always cold. You need to do it sometime when you're at the pub. Try it out when you're out on your walk. Speaking of walks, being out in
Yeah,
nature is really good for your health and it reduces your stress. So,
it
your
does,
walk
doesn't
and
it?
talks are amazing. And you absolutely must take me to that old cemetery,
Right,
preferably
okay,
while I'm
so
alive.
obviously there are people that aren't just our clients listen to this because we are global, Sonia, right?
You are what?
This podcast is global, so
Yeah.
not every listener will be our clients, but yet we have a monthly walking club. And sometimes we walk around graveyards, which is when Mrs. History, who's my lovely sister-in-law, Mrs. History takes us on a history walk to look at
That's
graveyards,
awesome.
really old ones. When are you over next?
Well, you invited my friend instead of me to the conference later this month. So,
That is not true. He got invited and then he asked me. I need some moral support or God knows what he wants me for. But anyway, you've got to go over again. So this is super enlightening, isn't it? Now I've tried many a time to when I'm meeting new people to say, hey, look, every decision you make about money is going to be emotional. Um, and they say, well, I want to talk about my investment. Um, what would be a good way of opening up this conversation? Because I've been thinking about this for 7 or 8 years. What would be a good way of opening it for the person who thinks they've just come along for their investment without them thinking this is a load of old emotional hokey?
hmm yeah. Do you know the sandwich technique?
No, I've ate a sandwich, you may notice, on my cheeks. I'm
You
familiar with
tell
sandwiches,
somebody
but not the
something.
technique.
Okay. Well, you know something good. You tell somebody something good about themselves, and then you get to the heart of what you want to say, and then you end with something positive. So, okay, fine. Let me tell you something about your investments, but make it as straightforward and brief as possible. And then be like, you know what? I can help you understand your investments even better if I know these other things about you. So then you can start making the genogram or the family tree. Like, tell me everybody who you want to be to benefit from your investment strategy. So you're still going to tie everything back to the thing that they say is most important,
Yeah.
but you're trying to pull out the things that maybe are also important or maybe even more important. And then might even bring out the values bullseye during that conversation too. Okay, so if we think about your investments, like just tell me all of your goals and the things that are important to you. Like, what would you put at the center of who you are at the core? They're probably not going to say the value of my portfolio. I mean, maybe they will.
Some people will.
Okay, fine. What's the second ring if that's where they want to go? But really trying to get to those other things, but you've already bookmarked one end with, okay, high level investments. Here's some strategies we might want to discuss. But I can help you get to those strategies and fulfill those strategies even better if I know these other things. So then you're doing all of the middle stuff. And then at the end, you'll be like, okay, so with your investment plan, here's what we're going to do next. How does that sound? Or something like that. So you've sandwiched it.
Uh,
You're not going to ignore them, but it is always about something more than just the dollars.
I find it takes
Kids.
like a year or two of knowing them before they get ready to tell me the truth.
Right.
Is that just me putting people off, or
Yeah. And people actually like to talk about themselves,
yeah.
usually.
Mhm. So Sonia, we could get a number of financial advisors, not just the people that work for me, that I make listen to this, right? um, um, listening to this, and I think, like, emotionally, it's really hard, isn't it, being a financial planner,
It is.
listening to people's stories. Have you got any advice to them on how to um, not let it get them down? And this might be just me
Yeah.
asking this without having to look vulnerable in front of everybody. Perhaps I just want to know it.
Okay, here's the solution. Write this down. Become,
My hands are cold. What?
I know you can't, your hands are too cold to write. Become ASFP.com.
ASFT.com.
Become ASFP.com. So the training that you went through, I do sincerely believe in the cohort approach and the experiential learning and having the opportunity to have those conversations with other people who are going through the similar thing. Like just thinking about the class that you went through and people brought real life issues and being able to discuss that right in the moment, pulling on the tools that we know can work in these situations and talking it through and having that coaching support, if you will, and the encouragement. In other occupations, this is so normal. Like for a therapist, having supervision is a normal part of life forever. I know people hate that word, but study groups or coaching or whatever you want to call it, but you have to have a way to get that out because it is emotional and people will burn out if, if you're not discussing it.
You talk about it a lot then,
Do I
under
talk
your
about it a lot?
supervision.
I do talk about it.
Do you with your
Yeah,
yeah, you do.
I do. I do. And I've learned that financial planners don't like the word supervision.
It sounds a
I'm
bit
not really sure
regulatory,
why.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Got enough of
So
that.
fine. Let's call it study groups instead.
Support.
Support group. Support group. I
Supportivism.
don't think that they would like that very much either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is difficult because you're trying your best, right? And you get it wrong sometimes.
Mm.
And then and then you just feel terrible. And then you have another similar situation, and you've let it go a bit, and that goes wrong as well.
Yeah.
Because you haven't been strong enough about something, and then what you fear happens goes and happens, doesn't it? Like death or illness or something, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real bummer, right? When all of your clients start dying.
Right.
And yeah, and a whole bunch of them within a short period of time. That's really taxing on a person.
Yeah. So shout out to all financial planners and advisors out there that go through this. You're not alone. Go and talk to someone.
That's right.
So we're coming to the end of our time, Sonia. Now, obviously, the last time we did a podcast together,
This is not my fault.
it remained unheard due to my horrendous accent. Now, that will not be the case here, and I'm pretty certain we're going to get the highest number of listeners ever because
That's the goal now.
I'm going to promote you extra good because you're my favourite, aren't you? Right. Ever since I brought you over and showed you Warwick Castle and taught you about the real stocks and shares. Do you remember that? That was a very funny
Yes.
joke, wasn't it?
It was very fun.
Yeah. So it's been great having you. If you've got one thing you could advise all our listeners, oh, look at that grimace. One thing that little tip you could give to all of us, advisors and client alike, regarding money, psychology and anxiety, whatever it may be, what would it be? What's your number one tip to make life a bit easier?
Well, I do feel that maybe you should have warned me about having a punchline at the end and what your question was going to be.
You
But
know that I'm not going to do that.
okay, what I would say, this is my personal top value. See a need, meet a need. And by that, I mean, if you see somebody struggling, help them out. Like if you're not involved in a study group or your colleagues don't have the same level of exposure or training and the same life events that you've had, and you see them struggling, help them out. Like you, as a person, Steve, know so much more about psychology than the majority of financial planners. If you see them struggling, help them out. If you see a client who is having a rough time with the transition, see a need, meet a need, offer the support, have a good system for referrals, offer a tissue. Like there's so many ways that we can meet needs that are not constrained by your educational background or your certifications or anything else besides for just being a good human.
That is lovely. I like that.
Oh,
See a need, meet a need.
there it is.
Brilliant. Help someone.
Help someone.
I tried to do that a few years ago. Help someone every day that you wouldn't expect to.
A few years ago, did you give
Well, I
up?
still I'll help people a lot, but not in helping in unexpected ways. And I ended up pushing a car through snow.
Wow, that's committed.
I pushed a lady in a wheelchair across the road. Then she ended up asking me to take her shopping. And I was with her for an hour and a half.
Wow.
We were looking at romantic fictions in the supermarket.
And how did you feel after that little trial
Well, I knew a
experience?
lot more about romantic fiction, which,
Okay, well,
I
maybe
am
not that
psychic, aren't I?
exact experience, but your experience of helping others.
It's nice, right? It makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah,
It
you
helps
probably
them.
had less stress, better mental health, the whole bit.
I saw this same lady 6 months later.
Not in a wheelchair.
in the wheelchair, and I pushed her, and then we got to the cinema where she wanted to go, and she said, "Well, I'm here 45 minutes early now." So then I took her for a cup of tea
Aw,
because she was so early to meet a friend. There you go.
that's so sweet.
Isn't that lovely? Right, Sonia,
It
good
is.
luck. You've got to move house. I hope that goes
Thank you.
well.
Me too.
Thanks for coming on. You've got to
My
come over
pleasure.
again and see us.
I will.
And I think I'd like to do this again.
Let's do it.
There, you've committed now. That's
We could
important.
record it live in that ancient cemetery.
We could do. That might be a bit Dracula, though, mightn't it?
That'd be
It's
fun.
scary. Like
Yeah. I'm big into Halloween, so we could do it on Halloween.
in Halloween. There's some nice places around there as well to eat afterwards, so we could go there. Right, if you see a need, meet a need, and talk about it. Talk about everything. Thanks, Sonya Lutter, for coming on with us. It's been brilliant. See you later, everybody, for the next
My pleasure.
episode of Juggling Mind and Money. You're supposed to do that with me, Sonia. Come on.
Oh, my bad. It feels a little 6'7". That has me.
Right, see you later, everyone. Bye.